Welcome to the I Am the Author course. I'm offering it for free right now because I really want to get it out to as many local communities as possible. As they say, knowledge is power. My courses are very connected, so I highly suggest when you watch them, take serious notes and digest it so that you can understand how everything connects. Because once you see the connections, you can help others achieve the same understanding that you get. So let me ask you, do you have any kind of reoccurring or repeating self-sabotaging actions, thoughts or actions that keep you down or keep you back from moving forward in your life? Do you have experiences or circumstances that just seem to reoccur and repeat in your life? And when they do happen, you always wonder, how the heck did that just happen again? Maybe you have situations, outcomes, or people that just seem to come into your life like a scratch disc and drain you of all your energy. If this is happening to you, this is what everyone refers to as your old programming, your subconscious beliefs. It's the lines of code in your brain so deep they are difficult to catch if you've never been taught how to rewrite these codes in your brain. In today's video, we'll jump into the basics of how the power of thought actually works versus what the natural default mode for every human is, which leads us to create programs in our minds that end up automatically playing out and create the same negative thoughts, actions, outcomes, and people in our lives. Today's video training is a basic introduction to how a program is created in your mind. There's a video link that'll pop up and you can go to and learn a lot more in depth on the actual process and the step-by-step. If you want to learn even more, visit the website for our courses and our live class availability in the link. So how do you create a subconscious program in your mind? It all starts with an idea. Thought A, a deep-rooted desire. Thought A, backed with a desire, starts creating experiences in your life so that thought A can become reality. You meet person 1 randomly. They connect you to person 2 and 3, leading to experience 4 and 5. And only at this point, after all those experiences, can thought A become a reality. This right here is what I refer to as the experience. You see, your thought A mixed with desire created the chain of events so that thought A can be brought to life. Too often, people think thinking alone gets you what you want. In reality, thought A goes from a potential possibility in your mind and blossoms into a place where it can actually become reality. After which, you now have to go and make it reality. So it goes from just a potential thought to now it's more like a potential thing that can happen in your life. It's a two-step process to get a thought into the real world. You think thought A, then life just seems to come together. The right people and situations magically start to come together. This is where the thoughts are the predominant creative force. Then things go into the next gear, the actions gear. Now it's up to you to make your thought A reality. Now the ball is in your court. All those people you met, well, now you have to go work with them to make your thought A reality. In essence, it looks like this. You have to now step into the new world you want to see come to life by working towards it. You have to take actual steps to make thought A become reality. So, where do limiting beliefs and programs get created in this process? Right here. What happens here is that by default, our minds tend to focus on the negative far more than on the positives. Our brains are wired to keep an eye out for things that can hurt us, and we avoid them at all costs for long-term survival. Because of this, our natural default mode is to overly focus on single negative interactions or look at the experience as a whole as a negative thing. So instead of seeing the brilliance of how your thoughts created the whole experience to begin with, you walk away with a negative emotion. By default, the mind will get stuck in the negative emotions because of the experience and come to bad conclusions like false beliefs. We distrust people, we blame others, or undermine ourselves by saying things like, I'm stupid or I'm ugly, etc. With this negative mindset, At best, you might walk away with only 1 or 2 lessons and never see how you were the author of the whole experience to begin with. At this point, your negative thoughts have a lot of emotions tied to them and you're blaming others. Your subconscious mind thinks that this is what you actually want. So, this is where the line of code is written. The purpose and result of any line of code is a feeling in the end, because feelings are the language of our body. Feelings create a cocktail of chemicals in our body that we become addicted to. Don't even bother trying to deny it. This is the harsh reality of how our bodies work. So at this point, you're probably asking, but how do these programs or lines of code get triggered? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's take a closer look. It's an equation. One day you're sitting drinking coffee and you recall something you want something to be true in your life. Desire A is bubbling up into your mind. Then you take a look and compare your current reality to the reality you want to be in. At this very moment, all different types of expectations of yourself or others start rushing through your head. Unmet, unreal, unexpressed, or assumed expectations take control over your emotions. An old desire plus seeing your current reality plus expectations triggers a domino effect. This is a line of code. At this point, you realize your current reality does not equal your desire A, which then triggers an internal dialogue. You ask yourself, why me? Why this? But what you don't realize is that this is not a question. It's a statement. Because you're making a statement in the form of a question, you aimlessly try to find an answer where there is none. So you get even more frustrated and magnify the negative feelings inside of you. Instead, you should ask, what can I change? When you ask why, well, if you got into an accident, then there's a million becauses. However, when you ask what caused this, your mind can then go and seek out practical answers. Now you're in a whirlwind of emotions and it's getting more and more intense until, boom, your body creates the feeling it's programmed to create for you. Now, the outcome is you have zero belief or you give up, you quit pursuing whatever you were trying to achieve. This is the real life results of your current program. Now that you know the equation by which a subconscious program comes to life, what should you do to catch it and rewire your brain? Well, it's a 2-step process. Catch the code and then catch the program. First, you sit down and write out your boom moments and go all the way back to the original trigger you had that day. Second, ask yourself and write down all of your unmet, unexpressed, assumed, unaware, or unreal expectations that may be in your mind that are fueling your negative thoughts. Third, ask yourself, what do I value? This will help you clarify if your original desire, A, is actually what you want or not. Then you want to focus on the program. What you want to do is clarify what was thought A and what was the first thought that given day that set you off in the domino effect that led you to explode or implode. Then once you narrowed it down to what that first thought was, you want to go back in your personal history and ask yourself, what was thought A I initially wanted to create? In other words, what did you want or what do you want to make reality in your life? For example, today a code ran in your mind and it started off with not getting a call from your boss on what you need to do. Then 4 hours later you stub your toe and boom, you just want to crawl in bed and call it quits. Once you write the domino of thoughts that made you want to give up, you want to go back into your history and see where this mindset of curling up in your bed and giving up started. You might realize that as a kid you wanted to get people's affection and every time you got sick, people showed affection to you. And now you connect curling up in bed with affection, which hurts instead of helps you. Once you see that clearly, you realize that your motivation was to create connection with other humans. Going forward, you actively create friendships and connections with people to fill that inner need. As you build your connections with others, that old program is rewritten and updated to your new way of thinking. Most of us are not taught how to catch our old programs and rewrite our own codes. So why does it seem so difficult to change? Well, when we have a thought, it triggers a domino of thoughts. Then we have a boom moment where we want to give up because of our old negative thoughts running in our mind. In this case, time is always moving in one direction. However, discovery happens in the reverse order and takes time and energy to apply to your life. First, you catch the line of code. You have to start with where you are now. Work your way back to the boom moment, uncover the domino of thoughts down to the initial thought, and then you want to catch the program as a whole. So you have to go back in time to where your thought or desire was originated and what was its initial purpose. And this is how you take an old program and use it to your advantage instead of disadvantage. If you want to learn even more, go to the website in the description and it will take you to the website and you'll get to see and learn about all the different ways you can take the next step in your growth and development on how to learn to reprogram your mind.